Same story.
Don't even. You podcast so much. It's like I will watch that one for sure.
It's on podcast too, so you don't have to. You can listen. You don't have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like you. I like to listen to yours.
Yeah,
I like to watch it when I can catch it, but I do like to listen to it.
Well, yeah, it's fun. The replay is not as fun because you don't have the. Did you have comments on during yours?
Have you
No.
live now?
Yes, sir. I have.
Okay.
Oh, so you didn't have comments on? You didn't do it live?
No. And that's the weird thing was he told me we had 30 minutes. That's the third time I've done something with him, and he always has said that. We've always gone a few minutes over, but I kept it right to it. But we've done it through Zoom. This time I told him StreamYard. I said, but don't worry, I'm just going to do record only. And then when he got there, he was like, are we doing this live? And I'm like, what, dude? I totally would have done this live if I would have known that you would have.
You're trying to protect him.
I told him, I said, I didn't think there was a chance you would do it.
Always. Now
he's like, it was your call, man. It's your thing. And I'm like, man, I get you like once a year, and you can't say that. I'm getting you next time.
Well, maybe you bump it up to twice a year and get him on the live.
I still want him on here one night.
Yeah, nights are hard for him.
I know.
You know what? The people who say nights are hard for them, I know he has kids. We all have kids. I'm married. We're all married. We all have our stories. But I mean, the people who say that nights are hard for them and weekends are hard make a lot of money. So they're hard for them because they don't want to make the time.
Well, or they budget themselves. You know what I mean? Like I told you, like sometimes I just can't be there. Family time.
Yeah. I mean, Harry works his butt off, and when there's something, I mean, sometimes he devotes multiple weekends in a row to thing like Herbivore that is his project, or the emotional like he does in Florida and stuff, and
yeah.
So I mean, he gives up a lot. Sometimes he'll give up 5-6 days having to be on the road somewhere. So it all balances. I get it. I get that on Friday at 5, even though it's not a 9 to 5, that when you're at home in town, you just want to go nope.
Yep. And he's built quite the brand, so he's got other people working for him as far as like you and I think about content all the time, and so I think for him he shuts it off and he's like, I'm done for the night. I'm not going to pick up my phone. How
do I don't want to piss him off, but I'm trying to post a link of here into Flex's Discord channel, because he has like 11 million people or whatever. He's like one of those like crazy amount of people. Discord.
Yeah, I tried Discord.
I'm not real. I'm on it still. And when Max set it up for me, my son, and when he was done, he's like, "Here you go, hand me my phone." I actually have a server too.
Oh yeah, I do too.
Right, but some people aren't set up that way. For some reason, he set me up that way. So whatever.
I know. You remember Pete, or he was a host for a while on my show. He set mine up, and I try to stay active in it, but I don't know.
I'm gonna see if I can post this in there, because like he has, if you go to his, it's and in fact anybody can join. What's it called? But anyway, like everybody's YouTube channel is linked at the bottom, so you can click Steve and you can see all my history of everything YouTube, including like what I would be doing right now, and I should be able to post into there.
So what you're saying is you want to spam,
but it's not. You know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying to go into my own feed, Rideshare Rodeo, and post this link.
Oh, yeah, I should,
because it gets a lot of eyes on it, man. And
yours does? Your Discord?
No. My Discord has like 2 people on it.
Mine's got a little bit more than that, but I'm actually opening it up.
I'm starting to get on other people's though.
I'm on 5. I've got 5 people on my Discord, and I don't speak to any of them. Like, we're not speaking to each other. Don't talk to me.
Nice.
Yeah. Look, it's been this long, and to bring it up on my PC, it just loaded 14 updates. That's how much I've been on there.
Right. So his is called. What is his called?
All right, guys, coming live on the radio side in 3, 2, 1. Welcome in Friday night, TNC Radio.live. This is Driver Nation. I'm Tom. That's Jason, and that's Steve. We're going to be with you here for the next couple of hours talking all things in the gig economy. Every Friday night, we kind of pull our attention off truck driving and get into all types of things in gig, not just Uber and Lyft, but all sorts of things. But we talk about the business aspects of it. We talk about actually doing it. We get to actually do this in cooperation with the Gig Economy Podcast YouTube page. So we're there as well. We're a couple of seconds behind over there than we are on the station. But hey, whatever works for you. We always encourage people, if they're driving, of course, just keep it on the radio side. Sitting at home, you can actually see our smiling mugs. We're happy to have you with us. So let's start off first with Jason. Jason, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing great. Loving the weather here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, wrapping up my season. And yeah, it was a good week. Got to work tomorrow, though. But, it's OT, and no one can say anything bad about OT other than you'll be tired, right?
That's right. It's funny you talk about having seasons there for, sometimes we might not cut our yard in December, but usually we do.
Really?
Yeah. But otherwise, I mean, we have St. Augustine grass down here, which is a vine.
Yeah, but you don't have snow blowers.
No, we don't. Yeah.
Checkmate, dude.
Yeah. You have to get that St. Augustine back every so often, because if you don't, it will cover the sidewalk eventually. So you got to at least trim it back on the edges there.
For sure. Yeah. No, that's one nice thing about Michigan. Yeah, the winters do suck at times, but I love the seasons. I love just the fall feeling, and I'm sure I'll hate it by mid-December, but
no, we get the fall feeling. It's just, for us, fall starts in a week or two and lasts until March.
Oh.
If we're lucky, we get to skip winter again. Last year we didn't get below freezing, and not at my house.
Yeah, it wasn't a terrible winter for us either. It was pretty nice. So, but yeah, other than that, just excited to be here with you guys tonight, talk some gig stories and that kind of stuff.
Fantastic. Steve, Rideshare Rodeo. What's up?
Well, I had this awesome interview this week, but you guys, pretty sure both of you missed it.
Why would you throw us under the bus? We're live now. You could have been a nice friend, but no.
Yeah. All right.
Right. I am excited to get both of your feedback on it as why, because we covered a lot. So what I'm talking about is obviously Harry, the rideshare guy, but I also got to do the Fifth Para Presents Roundtable that debut every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern with the rise of women in the gig economy, which was really an interesting one. They're averaging about 6,000 views, which is like way over like what I get on videos on my channel, but they've just been blowing up on the Para channel, and we've done 5. That was awesome. But the Harry thing was great. Actually jumped into how, I basically was trying to, I'm not going to, you're still going to want to go watch it, but here's the deal. I was trying to show people who put those comments in, like when he interviews Dara, let's say,
right.
Who, and they say, why didn't you ask this? Why didn't you do what? Why didn't you say that, hey, drivers need more pay? Hey, we need safety. Hey, and I see all these, and I know that to a lot of people, they're trolls. But when you have 127,000 subscribers, that's a lot of trolls.
Yeah.
And so it's at some point, I think that a lot of people just are disconnected, and I really in 40 minutes, I think we brought a lot of things together. Harry, and he was very candid. That's why I even renamed it Candid Conversation, because we talked about, he's a business. What he does is a business. And that yet we're all businesses too. He kind of was very unique in bringing that around. You're all in a position to up like I did, or do what you want. But we got into that. We got into, his 3 interviews with Dara. I told him the third was by far, I thought, the best. And of course it would be, because 1, 2, 3 times you're more comfortable. Sure. We talked about the one with John Zimmer, the Lyft president co-founder, and that he recently did, and how he and I just was talking about how he looked calm and not like he seemed like he really was okay asking some of the tough questions. Like he asked about upfront pricing, and then he had 2 follow-ups, and he got into how the follow-up was important. He with John Zimmer, he asked, he said, when he goes, the full transparency is great. Why didn't it happen sooner? And John Zimmer literally said, if you haven't seen the interview, he says to Harry that he's like, because you knew about this like 5 years ago, you could have done this. And he's like, why is transparency now? Like, we're going to show it all to you. He's like, you could have done it then. And he was like, yeah, that's our bad. That was a pretty direct answer to a hard question.
Yeah.
And then Harry, came back again and said, like, well, what's up? Like, all this is great, but what about names and pictures? Can we have real names and real pictures? And or does it have to be dogs and one name words or one word names? And John was like, no, that will be changing as well. Harry took us through the steps about how I said, how did these go? Do they redline your stuff? All the things that I've, it shows how much a rumor mill can spread. Because everybody's like, Harry's like a shill for the company. He breaks it all down. But basically I was like, so how do these work? How do you go into the interview? And he's like, really be surprised. He's like, they have never told me I have to submit my questions. They have never shot anything down. He goes, the only problem I ever had was the 3rd interview with Dara. And it wasn't even a problem. They just said, because it was a couple weeks before, they said, you can't talk about Q3 earnings.
Right. Of course.
At all.
Dara can't because.
Well, I mean, they've never mentioned that to him. Like they were being posted in like days or something. Like something around there was the first. It's the 3rd interview with him. First time they had ever said it, and they were very.
Yeah, there's a window where the CFO, CEO, the C-level people can't talk about what's coming up.
Yeah.
Until the call.
But I talked about like, and the last thing I'll mention here is, Harry doesn't like getting into IC status with me because I'll take it too far. but I said, but now that they're doing upfront pricing and, they're saying, yeah, we could have done this 5 years ago. And even Dara's kind of saying, yeah, we could have, but now I said, don't you think they have an algorithmic advantage to how they're saying, okay, now we'll show you everything? Because like they said, they could have done it 5 years ago and avoided a lot of Prop 22 headaches and money and millions of dollars.
Well, hindsight is 2020. You know what I mean?
Right. But they just could have done that. Now they're going to do it. My thought and challenge to Harry was, don't you think they've had algorithmic gains where they've said, okay, now we can show you upfront pricing because we know how to better lowball you.
Maybe. I mean,
even he said maybe, again, guys, go watch it. I mean, like he was not just like maybe, he was like maybe, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, that's cool that you had the opportunity to definitely talk to Harry. Harry's, he's kind of the OG of that stuff. So,
and you get it, Jason. I know, Tom, you get it too. That's what I was really trying to bring out of this piece, and I did it, and I was like, okay, I hope that was good, because it was different from anything I've done with Harry. And I just, Harry, if you're listening, this is not mean. I just wanted to humanize you, bro.
Yeah. No, and that's
seriously, man. That's friend to friend. Because I know you're just a clever person. David Pickerell's kind of the same way in ways. Like, people are different, but I just wanted to humanize you with the YouTube crowd now that you're Sergio and Chris and all those guys seem to be kind of hanging out in the YouTube realm some. I was just sick of bad, stupid comments from people. So I stepped in and said, let's put a piece out that people can watch. And then if you think, well, I agree with all my comments I've posted, good. But if you watch that piece, I would hope you'd go, wait a minute, maybe I was wrong.
No, people never admit that they're wrong. That's half the problem with people.
Well, maybe at least not future trolling comments. I'm not saying go back and delete your old ones. You never will. And Harry doesn't care. He actually talks about that. He said, that's the one last little key I'll give you guys, is that it was really, this is a cool part of it when he says, I love the trolls. He said, because I love it when they're like, you company shill, you make all your money from Uber. He goes, that means I'm walking right on the line. He goes, because I don't want either side to like me.
Right. That's how you're doing it.
I was like, this is an awesome interview.
Yeah, no, that's you're doing it right.
He basically told the whole audience, I don't want any of you to like me.
Yeah.
I mean, I would never do that, but hey, Harry beats to his own drum. So
Yeah, you and I can't tell Harry how to do it because he's
yeah,
done it.
right.
So, but
Well, that's
anyway, it's a if you guys, anybody watching, whatever, haven't seen it, go watch it. It's really good.
And obviously, if you're not a video person, you can get it at TNCRadio.live or anywhere you download podcasts. It's definitely would be a good to listen to it there as well.
Yep.
Very cool. I guess we can't play any snippets of that or anything on the show, or can we?
Yeah, Jason could.
Yeah, I can play whatever you want.
But I mean, I wouldn't know how to. I don't have anything time coded out or any. I don't.
Okay.
It'd be like scrubbing through it.
We don't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
All right.
But I think I want everybody to go watch it. Like, I think I put enough bait out there, man. It's 40 minutes. I know some people know my videos to be a little bit longer, but it's 40 minutes, and we get all that in.
Short for Steve.
Yeah.
Super short. Okay, cool.
But I'll put it this way. It's a Harry that probably most of you have never heard.
Ooh.
Harry swears at least 10 times. Steve, 0.
Ah. Why didn't you?
Because I wanted to be the guy that was 0.
You wanted that 0 number.
I just wanted to be like, well, I was perfect. So no, I mean, again, that was part of the humanizing, though, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, he was doing on my channel what I wouldn't do on his, even if he kind of said it's okay.
Yeah.
Like if I caught myself swearing, I'd be like, whoop.
No, that's such a good point.
Yeah. So, I mean, he knew it was cool on my channel. And so he was, I mean, I don't try not to as much as I can, but it is what it is. But, anybody that does, I'm fine with.
Yeah, I let it rip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised, though. Like, he swore like 10 times, man.
Like, what are we talking for swear? Are we talking like SH?
Gosh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. F.
Oh!
F?
An F.
We dropped F-bombs.
There were 2 Fs, I think.
That's funny.
Well, there was one WTF, and then there was one like anger F.
Well, you got to admit, he probably enjoys going on other people's shows where he can just let loose a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, he's not curating.
But he doesn't. That's the thing.
He doesn't go on other people's shows?
Mm-mm.
No, but I'm saying he probably would like to, because he doesn't have to curate. Everyone loves to not be the person being the host, because you have to come up with the content. But when you're a guest, you're just like, F it. It's not my responsibility.
I think he likes to just kind of, he's got his whole team now, and they do everything. I see him all the time. Chris, Real Rideshare Stories, Sergio, they're all they come in the lives with us, and so I work with his people all the time. I think he doesn't want to be on things.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't want to be on. He doesn't want to do more than the podcast and and obviously all the work he does, and he doesn't want to be on anybody's podcast. Like you'll hear in the interview. He wants to walk that line of no friends. But you can have a few over here, even, or nope, I want none. Going right down the middle. He basically, without saying it, said, y'all are trolls.
Oh, wow. Ouch.
I mean, you'll see. He talks about his courses. It's all positive.
Yeah.
But it's done very point of fact. Harry's learned, like Sergio watched it, and then he texted me. And if you don't know Sergio writes for the Rideshare Guy. He's been a contributor since 2016. When he met Harry, they met because Harry was posting for the Rideshare Guy on the original blog, and Sergio would post a reply as long as the post saying why Harry was wrong on every sentence. This is wrong because this is wrong. He was ripping him. So Harry did what? He invited him to lunch. He hired him.
Wow.
Because he said, you're the guy I need. And Sergio's the man on the ground. He is the man that knows rideshare in LA. So I think Sergio or I think Harry likes that he has a team like that. And that's another thing for people to consider too. Like what I just said, that should tell you, Harry's a business, because again, he's saying he wants to walk the line, but he's having people out there as radical as Sergio, and a lot of this community knows Sergio, great guy, but he works with Harry. So
Yeah.
Pedro does work with Harry, once or twice a week. Chris Real Rideshare Stories runs the YouTube channel for Harry and does a show called Show Me the Money Club with Sergio every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, that usually gets about 500 people in the live.
Wow. That's
and
great.
they rip into different topics every week. Good show.
Very cool. Cool. I wish I had a team.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to join my team pro bono, let me know. I'll promote your YouTube channel.
We're all team Jason. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
I've been team Jason forever, man. I don't know what anybody's talking about.
Whatever. You skipped out on the conference.
To be honest, man, I'm so glad that next year it's here. That is too funny. And
It's
I think
hilarious.
And the coolest part is you guys are going to love it here. But again, man, I got to say, as much as I was pissed that I missed it, and I told you this,
course.
but I got to tell you, man, I wasn't as pissed when I found out all the things that happened.
That was an isolated incident, and it didn't really affect very many people.
The COVID?
Oh, COVID? What about COVID?
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I thought one of you got it. Last year, Larry got it.
No, you're right. Okay. I thought you meant I was talking about
the trip there.
Yeah, no, sorry. I thought you were talking about yeah, you obviously don't know what I'm talking about.
See, there was other bad things going on. You don't
even
talk about
it was yeah. So Larry got COVID this time really bad, and I got it last time, but I didn't get it bad. It was whatever. So no, there was something Podcast Movement did that was kind of not great, but I'm surprised you didn't see that on Twitter.
Can we not talk about it?
Yeah, you can talk about it. Basically, the number 6 podcasting platform in the world hosts Ben Shapiro. He owns the company, and he had a booth there, and he showed up unannounced. And some of the really, really, really woke people did not like that. And Podcast Movement made this. They took it down now, but the statement saying, "We're sorry we harmed you by having Ben Shapiro show up." It was ridiculous. Liberals and Republicans were all pissed about it because they're like, I lean more to the left, and I was like, this is stupid. He didn't hurt anybody. He showed up. He has a booth, and there were over 15,000 comments on that tweet.
Dude, and there were so many people that probably, again, to each their own cup of tea, dude. But there were so many people that's a big name to a lot of people.
Well, not only that, podcast.
I mean, he has the right to be there, dude. He's not preaching hate.
No, he didn't even say anything.
No,
it was ridiculous, and it was uncalled for Podcast Movement to do it, and it really pissed me off because, I'm like, come on, what, you were harmed? So no one was harmed by him there. He took pictures with a few people and signed a few autographs and left. He has a booth there, and everyone was like, "Oh, Podcast Movement, you took their money, but now you're upset that the host of the number 6 podcast in the world shows up and someone complained about it and you have to make a tweet." Come on. Don't get me started.
Yeah, dude. I'm surprised they did. I mean, when you enter those contracts, I've been to enough conferences and conventions and things, like you're all locked in by showtime. I mean, it's happening. You'd have to, there'd have to be a fight at the booth to shut it down.
Right.
Thing. It's like, well, dude, really? Some couple people complained somehow and because they saw him in there, and then you guys already had your deal and you had the balls to go to him and go, "Sorry, you gotta."
Well, I don't know if they asked him to leave, but they just tweeted that they apologized to everyone that was hurt by the presence of Ben Shapiro at the podcast conference, which it was in a non-ticketed area. You could walk off the street in the hotel and go in the lobby. Or in the expo. That's all where it was at. It wasn't like it was You had to have a ticket to get in, but it was ridiculous, man. Me and Larry were at dinner at this awesome taco place downtown Dallas, and just laughing at the tweets and the memes that were going on. And then they doubled down the next morning. I was like, oh my God, you guys, delete this tweet.
So wait, they were apologizing for him being there, but he could have stayed?
I mean, technically he could have.
So it wasn't kicking him out. They were just like sorry, he's here.
Yeah, because someone either someone tweeted at them, "Oh my God, I can't believe you let Ben Shapiro here," and then they apparently lost.
That's the kind of thing. I don't care where you sit politically. That's the kind of stuff that needs to stop before it goes too far, man.
Right.
Like things like podcast movement should not be sticking their nose in that.
Well, not only that, podcasting is just a platform for everyone. They teach diversity, and so that's both sides. And if you didn't want him there, then why'd you take his money?
Right. Hey, I gotta take a break on the radio side. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. You're listening to TNCRadio.live Friday Night Driver Nation. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay right there.
Don't get me going on that. I could have just ran about it for 10 minutes, but bullshit.
Yeah, it's
So where's our audience tonight?
Well, unlike Steve, I don't have a huge following on lives. It's just all my audience comes from the download numbers. So yeah.
Maybe I'll do what I've done for a couple things and I'll edit a short out of this.
We'll just do it right now.
No, I mean edit a short when it's done.
Oh,
like clip a couple clips of like a highlight reel.
Gotcha.
Like a 5-minute thing and pop it up with because I did share it, but I did have to drop. This week was a little weird with the Harry thing. I had a bunch of drops lately, so I don't know if it's lost in the mix or.
Yeah, I mean, I get about.
Hey, Aaron, what's going on, dude? Aaron found it. Aaron's up in Alaska.
I get like 10 to 15.
Janet's here still. Yeah. What's up, Janet?
A lot of lurkers, not a lot of speakers.
I thought we had a lot more last week.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I guess I'm just.
Well, no, Steve has a huge following YouTube. I'm not a big YouTube guy. I record, I put up there. I'm never on YouTube.
Well, then, okay.
Yeah.
Janet, how's New Zealand?
Probably hot.
It's so weird.
What?
That just how we're always different.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Well, like New Zealand's like snowboard season is in like June.
Really? Because they're on the other side of the world. Yeah. Do they even get snow?
Yeah, dude.
Really?
Yeah. New Zealand's like it's not. Dude, Japan gets the most, like, if you want to do the most serious backcountry snowboarding, you go to Japan. Japan gets the most snowfall of anywhere on Earth.
Wow. Well, I knew that Japan had snow because they definitely did.
I never knew they had the most, though. That's just
nuts. I didn't know that either. Yeah, Aaron, if you didn't get a notification from Rodeo, that's because it's on our channel at gigeconomypodcast.com. No, yeah, that's our website.
Yeah, subscribe to this. To Jason's channel here, but also I'll keep posting. I don't know if you saw it. Maybe you didn't see my community post either, but I'll keep doing that as well.
Cool. Jeffrey Klein. I don't recognize that name. Must be one of yours. Maybe
that's a Facebook person.
Yeah.
And you have more Facebook people.
I probably
don't get a lot, man.
I'm streaming to all three, so.
But I also realized that when I streamed to Facebook, it was doing something weird. I was like, why is nobody ever in Facebook? Lately, they have been a little more because I guess when you do it, it locks it. So like it was privacy, not public, and I'd go live, and then I'd go into Facebook and be like, why don't we have anybody watching? It'd be set to private.
Huh. I have a bunch of groups that I am allowed to share to on Facebook. So our biggest audience would typically come from Facebook. But
yeah.
All right. What are we talking about coming up? What do you want to touch on?
Some
minor.
Yeah, I got a headline I'm going to ask Steve about, but that I don't have a lot. Yeah, I mean, you guys are putting together some stuff, so
I got stuff. It depends on. Give me an amount of time.
amount of time to talk about it.
Or I mean, are we going to have a little bit here? We are.
Yeah, I've got. Well, we've got to the top of the hour, but this next segment I think is 17 minutes. So I've got a 2-minute question for you, and then you can have the rest to go where you want.
Aaron, no one uses Facebook anymore. People are using MySpace again.
Dude, if MySpace, hey, if it's there and I can stream to it, give it to me. Can I get on Rumble?
I feel like one time I actually went to myspace.com to see if it was even still there, and I feel like it wasn't, or something weird was going on with it. It was years ago, but
yeah, I'm sure it's still a site. Who ended up buying that?
I don't know. Kmart, Blockbuster.
Blockbuster.
It was a tri-merger.
Yeah. Wayne Huizinga.
Yeah, he says Facebook's dead. There's still a lot of people on Facebook. I mean, yeah, not the 20-year-olds, but I'm mid-40s, so.
Well, I think that, I think the problem is I have the same problem on Facebook, man. I hate it, and it's just so much crap in the way to get to something like this.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed the other day that it's two Facebook things, like, if it's a Uber Lyft group I'm in, and then an ad. Every two, what I'm there for, there's an ad, to ad, to ad. It's pretty crazy. Radio Shack. I love that store.
I did too. I did too.
The past tense, man, it's gone.
They need something like that, man. There's not a very many stores like it, especially if you're in the, not so much the music biz, but church production, let's say, and you need a cord. There's nowhere to go.
Yeah, you got to wait overnight.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
Well, I just order it on Amazon. It'll be there the next day. But
true. But I mean,
here we go in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back in TNCRadio.live. This is Driver Nation. I'm Tom. That's Steve, and that's Jason. We're going to be here with you for the next hour and a half, talking all things gig economy related. I wanted to start off this hour, Steve. I was flipping through, doing a little show prep today. I wanted to ask you about, let's see, how do I want to share something. Where is the share thing? Present? Is that what I want?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to share screen, and share screen 1. Yeah, that's the one. So I wanted to ask you about this, Steve, and you can. So the second headline here, have you seen this?
Nope. What the
I wanted to get your initial reaction to to this idea that the California legislature considers allowing AI machines IC status when it goes on something about AB5 related blah 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 blah. So does this surprise you at all, Steve?
I don't even know if this is the right show. I don't even know if I can say the things I'm thinking, dude. I'm trying to tone it down like 10 levels right now.
Yeah.
What's up, Flex? Thank you for dropping by. So yeah, it bothers me, dude, because first of all, is the AI I mean, there's so many questions. Is the AI learning there? Or is it just gonna be these are the results of what? Of what it told us? What's it? That.
Well, I mean, that it gets ICs. I mean, that essentially an Android could be an independent contractor, but a person can't be. I find very interesting that they're considering this in California.
You do? Well, interesting, yes. Crazy. I'm used to crazy. Crazy, no. I don't know. I mean, how far really can they go? They've had so many bad strikes against all this stuff. Trying to pull out crap like this. I don't know. I mean, it's the SAC B. We'll give it a minute to see how many other things it gets in, because sometimes that publication can have some very radical. They are alerting you to something, but it might not be near as close as you think.
Yeah, it's not in SACB.
No, I thought it was.
Yeah, no, I totally made it up. I get your reaction from it.
Did you really?
Yeah, I mean, I figured, because I figured something, dude, because there's no way they're just going, okay, machine, tell us what's up. I mean, that would be the grandstand of all giving up.
It wouldn't be that surprising to any of us if California gave artificial intelligent bots IC status to work within multiple companies as an independent contractor.
I laughed out loud pretty hard, but I was like, okay, it's from California. So I'm like, all right, well, let's see how Steve answers at this.
Well, first, if you saw, man, first time got me really pissed. I was like way up here, dude. Like, I don't need this right now.
Well, you brought yourself down, so.
No, I'm sorry, Steve. Just had to. I wanted to bring a little humor to get the show started today. So,
Tom, you should have let it cook a little bit longer. I would see what his response was. Then we could have clipped that and shared it.
I mean, I think I handled it pretty well because I was really mad. Hey, JJ, how are you?
He took his glasses off, so
he did. I saw it.
I was really getting mad.
What?
I just kept thinking I was misreading him. I was like, I cannot say that. I was thinking, I mean, this isn't even human. This is.
You have to admit, it looked very real.
It was the Sac B, though, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah. I cooked that while we were talking during the first segment.
All right. Game on.
Game on.
It's been on for a year, dude. It came for a year.
Well, I didn't know we could prank each other. All right.
Okay, so this is a crazy story that we talked about a little bit last night, and actually, it is really crazy, you guys. We always hear about the violence and rideshare, and this is really weird. So in Colorado Springs, 1 hour south of me, there was a 21-year-old woman and a 22-year-old man on a Tinder date, had a couple drinks, went back to the female's house, and she asked him to strip. The article gets into a lot of details, and I can share it here at the break or whatever in the private chat. But so the article gets into some details, all sexual. I'm just trying to be YouTube appropriate here. And then at some point, she duct tapes his hands together and his feet together. And she walks down to the kitchen, grabs like a big knife, comes back, starts stabbing him in the left shoulder and all over the body. And he's bleeding everywhere. And she's stabbing. And she like drops, she sets the knife down and she leaves the room, comes back in and says, why are you bleeding on my bed? Get in the bathtub. And so he had to move over to the bathtub. He's bleeding in the bathtub. She stabs him a few more times. And then here's the kicker. And here's, if you're going, how's this gig related?
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Okay, so she literally ran out of energy because she put the knife down and called DoorDash, ordered food, ate it, and then went back to stabbing him.
So she's a serial killer.
She needed to re-energize. She ran out of energy stabbing this dude. So like last night, the big question became like, what'd she order?
Oh my God.
But I mean, it's just weird. So the cops get there. The dude's still alive. And here's the weirdest part of the story. After she eats, she comes back in with the bloody knife. Now, at this point, if you're the dude, you're freaking out, right? You're like, okay, she's gonna go for my face now. This is screwed up. Instead, she puts the knife down by their feet, pulls the blanket over both of them, and snuggles with him while he's bleeding out. So she falls asleep. He's able to move the knife up to his hand, cut the duct tape off, runs outside. As he's opening the door, she wakes up. She comes. Did she?
I should have waited.
I know. So she goes, So she comes running out too, but he's already outside in the front lawn, maybe even for a couple minutes, because he's already on with 911. The police are getting there, and they're like, like, what are you doing? And she's just like acting like, well, it's just, what? It's Friday night. Like, it's like, you can't just duct tape and stab people, lady. Like,
have you guys ever watched the movie or read the book American Psycho?
I've seen the movie with Christian Bale.
With Christian Bale. The book is much weirder than the movie. This sounds like something right out of American Psycho. This is exactly the kind of thing that.
Yeah.
Clearly she was on a bender for those movies.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll pull it out too, because if you see the picture of her, I gotta pull the picture up, because if you see the picture of her, you'd think, man, no doubt she needed that DoorDash, because she doesn't look old enough or strong enough to keep stabbing this dude.
Well, obviously she didn't do. First of all, if everyone's drunk. Second of all, he obviously had enough strength to walk outside, so she wasn't doing it that deep.
Right. But yeah, he's not bleeding out, but at the same time, ouch.
Yeah.
So the story didn't go where I thought it was going to go, because I was kind of afraid that I was going to have to go to a quick commercial or something on the radio side when she starts cutting pieces off or something. But
okay, I'm putting it in chat, so I always forget I can't do it. But there's the thing, and also, like, most of the articles out there about it, like like, this is the title: woman bound slashed Tinder date, ordered DoorDash. I mean, right away from that, you think woman bound, like, oh, it's the guy. Nope. It was the woman.
First of all, if you're a guy and you have hair on your hands and feet like most guys do, duct tape is a no-no right there, you've lost me. Okay. Yeah, we're not doing it because that's going to hurt. Right?
Well, what if, there
you go.
Yeah. So this is who did it.
Oh my gosh.
She's 22 years old.
She looks like she's 12.
She met him on Tinder. They met at a bar. They had some drinks. They even say they get around to saying that they got drunk. But if you look in even like some of those, it's not that long of a story, but if you scroll down a little, you'll see that like some of the things that were going, it just is weird. I mean, the DoorDash part really throws me though. Like, she took a time out of this like torture.
I'm trying to find the. Oh, maybe it comes.
I think Aaron asked the most appropriate question there on YouTube. Did she tip, and how much on the DoorDash piece? I mean, because that's what it really comes down to. What kind of tipper was she?
I like his. He should have swiped left.
Yeah, he should have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did she tip? I don't know, man. That's another thing we talked about last night. Kim actually said, because here was the question we posed. So I'll pose it to you guys. Or Kim posed it to us actually after we talked about the article. Was that she said, she's like, well, what like, we were like, what if you're the driver and you somehow catch wind of all this? You see the blood on the person, or you hear a scream for help. Do you run into the house? And Kim's like, I don't think that I could do anything but go run in and help. I'm like, but it could be a trap. Blah 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 blah. And she's like, well, what would you do? And so here was my response. I'd be like, oh, sex games, right on. And I'd walk away. I'd go to my car. I'd hit hazards, lay on my horn, call 911. Wake the whole neighborhood up. But again, I told her I'd have to be 100% certain.
Well, what happened with, Jeffrey Dahmer is back in the news again because there's apparently a credible series on Netflix about that. And one of the 14-year-olds at the time, they escaped, and the Milwaukee police were called, and he basically said, oh, it's my boyfriend or whatever. It's like, yeah, you do need to say something. Like, don't ever run in there, but you definitely need to call. Now, it was kind of bad on the cops. They kind of dropped the ball with that, but I would hope cops of nowadays have been trained on that kind of stuff. But yeah, I would not run in. No, thank you. if the house was burning down and people are inside, maybe,
Yes,
but like,
yes.
I'd be like, I'm going to get shanked in there. I'm just going to call the cops.
Or it's a setup, dude. Like that
Yeah.
girl, but then there's 3 guys ready to take you and duct tape you.
Yeah.
And
then
you
you
don't
lose a
know, dude. You
kidney.
don't walk into. You could get shot. You don't walk into somebody else's house. You
Nah.
just don't do that. But that's why I say if you're sure something's going on, like Jason's saying, do something, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
but you gotta. I mean, we all just are supposed to have that like internal barometer, to know.
Yeah.
Like you should know if you need to call 911.
Well, it's like, they teach the kids now, if you see something, say something, like, especially with all the issues in the schools and stuff, like there's anonymous lines. I know I'm kind of going off on exactly what we're talking about, but my point is just call. Like, that's what the police are there for. They're not going to they're going to check it out. I mean, what if you save some kid's life? Like, you never know. Chances are it probably is nothing, but you just never know.
Yeah.
And he should have swiped left.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just, like I was saying yesterday, I'm like, the main thing for me would be like, if again, I would have to know, like, I'd have to see dripping blood out of her hand, or that just didn't make sense. I'd have to hear a scream that made sense, because the other thing is, what if you call 911? And like I said, as a joke, they are having Friday sex games.
Well, then
you're just this asshole that woke up the neighborhood. Sorry about my language.
You're
this guy that woke up the neighborhood, and
hey, they can do it tomorrow. They live another day. It's worth if you're feeling uncomfortable, just call. That's what they're there for.
Right.
I guess make sure you feel really uncomfortable though. Really read it, because people are weird. They do weird things.
Yeah.
I mean, this DoorDash driver didn't recognize it. He just handed him the food. And now we all want to know, because we did agree that one of 2 things will happen. And this is from my restaurant background too. The item that she ordered will either become their new featured item, or it will be removed or the name changed or something from the menu. One of the 2. So it's Colorado Springs. It's very right. And it's, it's got the Air Force Academy, and then it has 3 other Air Force bases. So it is, it's very to the right. And so I don't know how they'll handle it, but
yeah, it's
like Kelly's Ribs. That's awesome. And then so there was another thing about the dark side of being a female rideshare driver. This was out in Time this week. I don't know if you guys saw this. So this rideshare driver in the Bay Area, she has been driving since 2015, and some guy was behind her, and they were on the highway coming out of San Jose, and he put her in like a bear hug, grabbing her breasts, holding her against the chair, and pulling her back. So she was slowing down the car, but she got it somehow, but she just kind of yanked the wheel to the right or whatever, enough to give her a little pull, and she just rolled out. She just went for it. She just got out of and she got up and was fine. The car's pulled over now, knocked into a wall or something, and she's running down the highway, and there's like cars coming 75 miles an hour. This is a 5-lane major highway. And she finally said she even just gave up, that she was on the side, but she just finally jumped in front of a car, and she said, it's either going to hit me or not. But it was like that kind of thing. And the car had to like literally stop. And that was her story about it. And this, so that 2015 is when she started. This happened a week ago.
Yeah,
So,
it's craziness. It's crazy out there.
Craziness.
It is. Tell you what, we're going to take a quick break on the radio side. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. TNCRadio.live. Stay tuned. That's scary stuff.
Yeah. Oh, this one though, the Colorado Springs one was from Tinder, man. You gotta be careful on those things more than anything, man. Like you were talking about American Psycho. I could see that if they ever do a remake of that, it'll be based around an app like Tinder.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, they shouldn't do a remake on it because last night, by the way, I brought up, Tom, I know you like movies like I do. Jason, I know not as much, but so the movie Seven, okay? But we all know this one,
What's
right?
in the box?
What's in the box, right? So, okay, so the movie Seven came out, and did you know somebody remade that? Gary was bringing it up last night. It might have been a little twist on the name or something, but who remakes a Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, Gwyneth Paltrow, Kevin Spacey movie?
Nobody.
Someone who hates money.
Yeah.
And it's not like the movie was okay or decent at best. Like that was a 10 on psychological thrillers, horrors, all that stuff. But even on just your average, like I would call 7, even though it's huge actors, I would call 7 more of an underground hit.
Yeah, it certainly was at the time.
So, but somebody remade it in like 2009 or something. And Gary's like, why? He's like, are you guys talking about the remake or the original? I'm like, dude, I didn't know there was a remake, but I don't even want to talk about it. I'm like, because there was nothing bad about the first one. There's no way somebody did it better.
The unofficial 7 sequel is now streaming on Hulu.
Right. That's something, but there's a remake too that was done of the movie. There's a twist on the name. He put the whole thing even said it's just the movies. It's just the script 7. All the way down to, well, I don't want to give a spoiler, but all the way down to the box scene in the end.
Spoiler alert.
And the reason that this, well, actually, I'll save that for when you bring us back, even though there's only going to be a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Because this is pretty intense. I had to make a big decision, but then I also want to tell people about how to deal with curry if you get into a situation. And for those of you not on curry, Aaron, you're in Alaska. Curry's in Alaska, bro. And if you're on a waiting list, email them, drivers@curry.com, and ask them what your current status is. And as long as you don't do it more than every other week, they will keep replying to you because they are not based out of country. They are here in the United States, and they respond very quickly. And you want to be on that app.
I don't understand though.
So I'm going to bring up. Well, once you bring us back, I want to talk about a curry offer I had.
Okay.
It's a big one. It's the biggest one I've ever had, but there was some problems to it. But yeah. And then I know that you guys saw that they found this. They did charge the dude from 2016 with the security breach. Yesterday,
Oh, really? Well,
it was all your fault. There was nobody else involved. You did
the
it.
hacker thing.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. He doesn't have his fines, and he doesn't have his whatever's going to happen. But it did say in the article that all along the way that Uber has paid ever since. But it's putting this guy to this group of hackers that.
Welcome back in TNCRadio.live Friday night. This is Driver Nation. I'm Tom. There's Steve. There's Jason. And we're talking about all sorts of different things here during the break. You can watch us. If you care to see us, you can watch us on YouTube. It is the Gig Economy Podcast. Is that the name of the YouTube station?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, just chokes me up. The Gig Economy Podcast. Check that out on YouTube. You can watch us live, listen to us live while you're out doing your driving this evening, whether you're driving across country or driving within the city. We're going to be here with you for another hour. Before we get to the top of the hour and have to take our top of the hour break, Steve, real quick, you were talking about
curry, and I'm going to share something right now with Jason.
Yes.
Hopefully he can put up here. Okay, so here it is. if you can put that up. Okay. So this got all the way up to 1095. I watched it from when it was 875 from Commerce City. That's 2 miles behind me to Las Vegas. Okay. That's 765 miles. And that's how what's in the box came up and why we were talking about 7, because we all wondered what one item weighing 46 pounds was.
Wow.
Okay. Again, watched it go up to this. So what is the metric, and what does my curry usage say? Heck no, I wouldn't do this.
Yeah.
Dude, no way. No way. So what do you do when this happens? Do you just give up? No. Because at some point somebody will get it. You call Curry. This is where you got to go that extra step with Curry. So if you're not on Curry, get on Curry. If you are, I'm gonna give you a sweet hint here. It doesn't have to be this big of an order, but if it's something going out of town, like for Jason, how far are you? 3 hours from Chicago?
Yep, roughly.
Okay, so if Jason had one to Chicago, he would want to do this same thing. You call Curry, you email Curry at drivers@curry.com. Or you call Curry support. They are 24/7. They are based in Los Angeles. You will get a live person. And you say, hey, I'm looking at this order. I want to take it, but do you have anything coming back from Las Vegas full to Denver or partial? So even if it's going somewhere else that's somewhat on the way back, they will look. And they might say we do, but it's not for till the next day after you'll get there. Okay, no problem. I'll spend a day in Vegas. You know what I mean? Or whatever. But they might be able to get you part of the way home. If not, is that when you quit? No. That's when you say that you want 25. I always say 50 because it's never been that many miles. But for that many miles, I might down it a little bit, but still try and keep it at 50. I always say, then would you guys be able to do 50-cent deadhead miles back? And there have been times when instead of sending the offer out over and over and over, the Curry support team they've like put me on hold, talk to a manager, come back and say, yeah, we can do that.
Wow.
So you can't get this on any other app. You will never get support like this that can make a change or add some value or understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
You don't want to be wasting gas coming back and what's going on. And, if they still at that point say, we can't give you any kind of mileage going back, and we got nothing right now, that is when you want to say, because they love this stuff, you guys, you want to say, hey, I'm very interested in this. If anything changes, please contact me. Then you want to keep watching the order. And as soon as you see the yellow banner at the top, as it goes up in 5 increments, and it says taken, right then hit I'm interested, because it won't show as you didn't take or that you dropped something, even if it comes back to you. So why you do that is the next morning they might call you and say, hey, are you able to take that load still? And again, you can go through the process. Do you have a load coming back for me? Can you do deadhead miles? So there's a few steps to Curry beyond just accept, let's go do this. That's how you make big money on Curry.
Dude,
boom.
That's so interesting.
All right. Hey, we're going to step out for just a minute. You're listening to TNCRadio.live. Stay right there.
Hey, what's up, Rodney? How are you?
So on this one, what would you have taken that for that number? If
we should have, guys, you got to help me. I should have said, I just got text from somebody that nobody said what this was. We didn't tell people on the radio what we were looking at.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we can correct that when we come back.
Yep, yeah, you're right. Sometimes we forget it's audio.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. So, what would I have taken this for with no anything coming back?
You have to bet. I mean, you're looking at $1 a mile.
Dude, right? I honestly would have done I actually would have done checking 3. There's not a lot of decent sized cities between, like I would have checked Grand Junction. I would have checked, Richfield, Utah, and I would have checked was it Kings, whatever, right before you get into Nevada and Arizona.
What are you checking? I'm talking about
the gas prices. I would want to know the gas prices going out there for all 3 of those cities, because those are going to be gas spots for me both ways.
Yeah.
So I need to know what those prices are. I would guess 1,500.
1,500. I mean, it's roughly like $1 a mile,
I've it says the mile 765. I get to Vegas in 10 hours. I've done it a bunch. So
yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting about, like you said, about the different, well, in fact, you can even talk to somebody. It's just like, what the hell? Like, yeah. And negotiate, right. Like,
dude. And they're, and when you say, hey, ride share Lisa, boom.
There she is.
If they say to you, dude, we don't, I'm not kidding, to add that phase of, well, if anything changes, let me know. And, something along the, you don't have to use my words, but I'm very interested. They mark that stuff. Believe it or not, they actually put a note on there because they're trying to get this, obviously something, because like Gary's, we were all trying to guess what it was. Gary's like, maybe it's paint. I'm like, dude, it's paying $2,000 for a 5-gallon paint bucket.
I mean, what if it's drugs?
Yeah, well, it's Curry, dude. You're going, I think it was coming from a plumbing supply company. So yeah, and you're dealing with the same thing freight drivers deal with.
It's interesting that someone would pay that much for whatever 46 pounds of plumbing supplies to get it there in 10 hours. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's crazy.
Well, I mean, I think that what they've done is here's what gig economy is doing to everything. We know this is that, they've taken the old model of, well, how do I get it there? USPS, UPS, or FedEx. Those are your only choices. How you want to get it there? Ground, air, and that was it. Now people are going, wait a minute, there's a thing, Curry? What is this thing?
Yeah.
However, I had to wonder. So my guess was, even though it's not allowed, and before I looked and saw it was the plumbing place, I thought maybe it's a lizard, maybe it's a dog. Somebody just
maybe it's a lizard. He says.
I don't know, man. I just was like, maybe it's some kind of pet or reptile or something that.
46-pound lizard. I'm gonna take. It's gonna be a hard pass for Jason going to pick that up.
Maybe it's a 6-year-old child.
Oh, even worse. Double hard pass. I'd
see again. I wouldn't do any of that. But also, one thing I would say is that go over to Hannibal is Hungry and watch the episode that Hannibal and I did. We do a thing every 2 weeks called Beyond the Algorithm. We talk about all kinds of gigs you guys don't even know about that pay way more than this. All the gigs we talk about. And the last mile services ones, we talked about couriers and medical couriers, and the website ones, not just the app-based like Curry. So also you'd be able to get on Freight or Freight's an app, but you'd be able to get on some of the websites and look for packages coming back from Vegas.
So Aaron brought up people ship pets on UShip all the time. I signed up for an app similar to that for a while to transport dogs, but it never really took off. You had to kind of like bid it out, and it was kind of clunky to do that. But I thought that would be a fun job to to travel with dogs all over the country. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I love dogs.
I love dogs too, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just can't. I'm wondering if that's a business or if that's like a once in a million shot.
What, for dogs?
Hey, can you take my dog to California?
No, dude. It's puppies. People buy puppies
from breeders and stuff.
Yeah, people buy dogs all over the country, and then you get them shipped up, and no one's going to ship them in a plane. You're going to pay somebody for that personal connection to have the dog in a crate in the back and stop to go potty and let them out. And feed them.
There's one of the first things I was looking at gig economy stuff. It was a girl who drove from, I think, Austin, Texas to Seattle, Washington with a dog. And she documented the whole thing on YouTube. Oh. It was really rather awesome.
Yeah, I can't remember the company that it was that I signed up for, but then it was a little weird. We're so used to these nice UIs on these apps, and this company it was only desktop, and it was a text system, and I'm like, I don't know.
All right, coming back on the radio side now in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back in TNC Radio.live Friday night. That means it's time for Driver Nation starting hour 2. I'm Tom. I've got Steve here and Jason. And out listening, we've got Rideshare Lisa. We miss Rideshare Lisa. You can dial into the program. We'd love to talk to you. Give us a call at 706 TNC 0. That's 706-862-8620. Would love to take your calls as we're chatting over all sorts of different items in the world of the gig economy. Jason, I'm going to pick on you first. Did you have a particular story that you wanted to talk about as this hour kicks off?
Let's see. I was looking at this one that Steve has on his website at uberliftdrivers.com. GoPuff is looking to reach shoppers using other delivery apps. And I thought that was funny. Looks like it's just basically GoPuff will receive orders placed on the Grubhub app, which is prepared at its stores or micro fulfillment centers and delivered by a partner. Looks like it's mostly going to be groceries and alcohol, but I thought,
well, there's another part to that story too.
Yeah, I was looking through it during the break.
No, I mean there's another story like right buckled up again, either below it or above it or down the list more. That right next to it that talks about the same thing, and it kind of explains what's going on. So where was it? Which one did you find?
I'm not seeing where you're seeing that, so I'm sorry.
Which article did you find it in?
Under the gig headline news, why GoPuff is partnering with Grubhub to fill orders on its marketplace.
Right, that's within one of these though. I'll find.
I don't know,
it.
but anyway,
okay. So, yeah. Anyway, no, I didn't. But so anyway, what GoPuff? Oh, I did have it at least its name in a note here. So yeah, okay. GoPuff is actually doing a thing with becoming like advertising space for launch campaigns and brand launchings and things like that. So I think that their new entry portal is to take brands that can't compete with big stuff, give it a voice and a platform, and therefore a relationship with Grubhub would make sense, because otherwise how would you ever get exposed to Amazon? It's like using connections to get a product to Amazon.
Right. Yeah, it looks like that article talks about like they view it as a platform, the ad part, as a way to launch a brand with immediate scale and distribution.
Yeah. Right. And that's how they view GoPuff. So if GoPuff's working with Grubhub, it's probably more for that stuff. Like, hey man, get this, let Amazon know about this. They're not listening to us.
Nice. Yeah, it looks like YouTube, Mr. Beast launched a new chocolate brand in January and made GoPuff exclusively delivery partner. So that's interesting. So I think it's more just talking about launching products. I don't.
Right. And there's celebrities in there and stuff too, and they're doing it's branding. It's basically branding for anything.
Yeah,
but it could be for products too. Is what it gets.
Well, I think the other one is just they're I don't know. I think they're just maybe they just want to expand more. GoPuff does, so they're using Grubhub to do that. Which
because in there it says that GoPuff will be starting to do free delivery on most orders.
Okay.
Again, I think that's something they're going to need Amazon for.
Yeah, it's interesting that GoPuff, like, they were scaling so much before the pandemic, and then it just dropped off, which I get. I mean, and they've been supposed to launch one here. I mean, they have a location. I've downloaded the app. I've tried to order on it, and it just keeps. I don't even think it's happening, and I don't know. It just seems strange that we have all that in place, and for the last 2 years, it's not come to fruition. Now, again, I've heard not great things about GoPuff, and that's fine. But I always like to try apps at least once or twice. Just, you never know. And sometimes there's bonuses there. We live on the bonuses for those kind of gigs. So, so when it does come, I will try it. But I didn't hear great things about it.
There's a new and by the way, to the radio audience, I did want to say that when we were talking about curry before, I was thinking about this. I did say the numbers. I did say it went from $8.75 to $10.95. So we were talking about Denver to Vegas, which I mentioned. I just want to clarify because we were looking at a picture here on the video. And so it ended up at $10.95, and we were trying to figure out at 740 miles, where does that value become in? And that's why I explained the way.
Yeah. And off the radio show, we did talk a little bit too. We hit the top of the hour, but I asked Steve what he would take that for without any extra incentive from Curry, and he said about $1,500, which that's where I would be about too. I mean, I try to shoot for $1 a mile. Probably should shoot for more, as I filled up my truck tonight at $86. Now it was bone dry. Now I had 10 miles left on the gauge, it said, but still $86 to fill that thing up. I'm freaking out, Steve. I'm going gig work in 2 weeks. What the hell am I going to do?
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't even know, because that'll become the rest of the hour if we talk about why the oil pumps in this country are not turned on.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't want to get into that. Let's not get.
Well, that's where it goes, man. OPEC is all over things now, and where they shouldn't be. And
yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying. Yeah, geez.
Yeah. See, don't show me a rabbit hole and say don't go in there.
Aaron says, how much did you want to transfer honeybees? Nothing. I've transported tons of honeybees in my car. It's fine. They're just chill. But
he does it for free.
I do it. I pay to do it. So yeah, no, it's fine. Now if one of those breaks open and you're probably going to have an issue, you might want to get out of the car, but there's always randos flying around in the car. It's fine.
No.
Sounds like that.
No. Mm-mm.
My hive I got one hive right now, and it got super aggressive at the fall, like to the point of where I had to like keep a square area that I used to mow right in front of it. Like, no problem. They never stung me. And like 3 weeks in a row, I got stung. And I was like, okay, they're getting aggressive. Now I have a square right in front of their entrance that's long. It's like 8 inches long. I'm like, I probably can go now because it's cold. So they're way just chill. But man, when it was hot, like they were like, oh, I got one in the eye, one in the ankle, one in the arm. I'm like, all right, that's it. Done mowing around that thing. But
this has nothing to do with anything, but way back, this is 35 years ago or so. This was with my ex-wife. I was cutting her yard and came across a yellow jacket nest that was buried into the ground.
Oh yeah.
And those things will sting you more than once. And they keep pouring out of there. Now she looks outside, she's been watching me cut the yard, and she looks outside and sees me dancing. She thinks dancing. And then I start stripping off my clothes because they're like in my clothes and, stinging me over and over again. So I'm stripping off. I strip down to my underwear, go running in the house. And yellow jackets are nasty.
Yeah.
And then his ex said, Tom, enough with the LSD.
Yeah, right. I mean,
I had to get you back for earlier, dude.
No, I didn't know what was happening. I didn't. It was just like, okay, that hurt. Oh, okay, that hurt. Okay, wait a minute. No, it was rough.
Talk about a helpless feeling. I've had a few of those in my yard too. And you're mowing, you don't see them, and you mow over that hole, and it's game on in seconds. They do not F around.
I always feel like it's near like a little area of water.
Yeah, just right out in the middle.
They always swarm the water too, though.
Yeah, it was right out in the middle of the yard. They had no reason to believe there'd be anything there.
I don't know if I've ever encountered such a thing.
Oh, well, you're lucky because it's brutal.
I mean, is it rare or
no? It's not common.
Not in Midwest.
Yeah. Huh. Aaron, honeybees are different than yellow jackets. Yeah, the honeybee, you're done within like 10 minutes. It's done swelling. It's fine. It's whatever. Yellow jacket.
Okay. I thought we were talking about real bees.
No, I'm allergic to honeybees. So I get stung by a honeybee. I'm not kidding. I'm gone for a couple of days.
Are you allergic to honey?
No.
Wait a minute. You're allergic to a honeybee sting, but not a yellow jacket?
No, a yellow jacket didn't. I mean, it hurt, but
yeah.
it didn't knock me out the way a honeybee does. There's something about the venom that's in a honeybee. The doctor said I'm borderline as to whether or not I should keep one of those EpiPens around. What it does to me, it just knocks me out. I mean, it's like, I'm just gone. I slept through the 4th of July once.
If I'm borderline, I'm having an EpiPen. If my doctor says borderline, I'm getting one.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
Hey, Necromancer, what's up, man? So, okay. We talked about how Lyft is on their last, like, okay, we do have autonomous, and here we go. And they're in Vegas and they're in Austin now. Well, Lyft today signed a 10-year contract with Motional, and they will be getting back into autonomous immediately.
Well, they gotta get back into it.
Or I mean, Uber. Did I say Lyft?
Yeah, you did. But
okay, Lyft's already back in it, barely. Uber's now coming back in. I feel like it's not about the autonomous. I honestly feel like this time it's to put the nail in the coffin on Lyft. They're just like, oh, you got that last thing, huh? Yeah, we're going to open in Austin because they're in Vegas and they're going to Austin too. The two cities they're in.
Oh, so this company also operates where did
No, Lyft is with Aptiv that makes the what is it? And then
you're
Uber
right.
and Motional are the Ioniq 5s.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about what happened with the Waymo and them, because that was the company that they were working with, right? Initially, but then they had
Waymo and Alphabet are now the same. Waymo's actually has major ties to Google.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can almost, it's not quite, but you can almost think of Alphabet's almost non-existent. They're just known. The reason there's even their name recognition still holds is because they had some of the best minds in autonomous, but it was a very small group. It was eaten up almost, kind of think of it like by Waymo. And then Waymo's kind of merged as much as they can with the automobile portion of Google.
And that's the part that will buy Lyft. I've been saying that for 3 years.
Google or?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Amazon's going to buy them.
Now, I've never heard Amazon saying they want in this. Google wants in this business. They want to own this business. And they are the 800-pound gorilla. So if they just want it, they're going to
say that they want in the business of what, rideshare or?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I mean, that's part of, I mean, you got to look at it this way. That's why they've been in bed with Waymo for that long.
Yeah.
If you don't think that Uber, because I've mentioned this before, like I've looked these up. Let's take the top 100, and there's about, I don't know, there's about 9,000 recognized autonomous worldwide companies. Let's take the top 100 or whatever. Uber and Lyft are not in that list.
No.
Even the companies they're working with are not on that list.
Right.
Waymo is on that list.
Mm-hmm.
Bolt is on that list.
Mm-hmm.
There's some of the ones that we don't talk about a lot that are on that list. So yeah, anybody would want to go be with Waymo. They have real people who are actually exploring the space and doing things, not people who quit Waymo, who know a little bit and are doing knockoff companies and working with sketchy people like Uber.
How dare you, sir?
I know. It's been a while since I ripped Uber, man. Come on.
How dare you?
You know, and by the way, I can't believe we forgot this. If you guys type in your browsers WRIDZ.com, there is a new rideshare company out, and it really reminds me of Trip. But I talked to somebody who said, no, they're not. So I'm going to be interviewing them. But I literally, that was my only comparison. This looks like Trip. And nope.
Yeah, their website is from 1995.
What?
Their website.
WRIDZ.
Yeah, I would go to this and go, oh, hell no.
Yeah, you guys know how I haven't.
Did I spell it right?
Give it to me. WR. What is it?
Where do you see 95?
No, it doesn't say 1990. Hold on. I'll share it.
Sure.
Yeah, dude, it's not.
No, he's saying that the website looks so bad it should be from
Right. But I mean, like Gary and I were ripping into this a bit last night. Like, if they're not like Trip, it's cool, man. They got QR codes. They got this color matching system. There's some major security going on. You do pay a monthly fee. That's what reminded me of Trip.
No.
However, I know. Listen to me. However, 100% you keep.
Yeah. Doesn't this site look like it's? I mean,
again, I'm just gonna deep dive it. I did on Trip, and I told everybody Trip is a scam. Do not sign up. This is as close to not just opinion as it can be. It's pretty much fact. They're scammers. I said that before anybody was really willing to say that, and it did come true, and they were scammers, and we all know it. So I'm the first one to try and weed out a scammer. But one of the places that they're big in is Austin.
I'm not saying
so now they're like traveling around with the autonomous lifts and soon the autonomous Ubers. Tom, I think you're right about Austin. After what you said last week, they just let everybody come try anything.
Sure. California.
No permits, nothing, man.
Yeah.
See, that's the whole thing. What happens with this is basically they're going to sign you up for a subscription, and you don't have the riders. You know what I mean? So
they actually, dude. So I found them in an article. There's an article out there that was talking about rideshare, and specifically the giants, and how nobody's ever been able to compete. And it didn't mention things like Trip, but it mentioned like some of the go-go grandparent and like some of the one to take kids, and even they've had more of their share of problems. But then when it got to this one, it said if this one can make it, because they like have clients that are like people that come into town to golf are instantly tied up with this. So it's not like you're just like Trip, like, well, we hope some customers come by.
So they have agreement.
They have a base that's working. Like there's a lady who did a little interview thing where she said she was working multi-apping Lyft and Uber, rideshare only, no food. And she's now only doing this. And she's reduced her hours by 10 a week, and she's making more money.
Wow.
But again, I don't know. I need to dissect it. I am very skeptical of everything rideshare startup, but
does the world need another rideshare? I mean, I don't
know. But this, here's what I guess, and also it maybe is this the answer? Are they doing it to be bought out? Because, and although they shouldn't be bought out because Lyft and Uber know how to do this, but they're doing some things that should have been, I've been saying for years. Put the QR code in the window. Have a matching phone thing that, yep, that's who I'm supposed to be with. Like real easy solutions that London has done for 100 years or since cell phones started. It's like they have a TFL to like monitor that. So before there's regulation, why not just put a damn QR code in the damn car?
It's easy enough to do. All right. We're going to take a break on the radio side. We'll be back in just a few minutes. You're listening to TNCRadio.live. Stay tuned.
No, Aaron, I don't think any of us signed up for Trip.
No, I had an interview with the guy, and he canceled on me. And then the new guy called me to schedule a meeting because he said, yeah, we had an interview. And I was like, yeah, you said you didn't want to do it. He's like, no, I bought that from that guy, so I'll do it. And I was like, great, let's do this. And we put it on the books, and he didn't show.
Oh my God.
But I think that he probably looked into my podcast and realized, dude, this guy is going to hang me
out to dry.
Because I mean, the one thing I won't take it at all is pyramid schemes and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't even know if they're still around, but that is kind of, hey, Emily, what's up? But I just put never use Trip in there. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if they're still around. They were handed off to a bunch of like, this guy bought it, these people, or at least people were at least pointing fingers. It's like that Uber thing. Like, he did it. Like, you're a company, right? She did it. Like,
yeah. Okay,
let's go to her. Let's go. They moved that target for a while, so I don't know. But Trip was a complete scam. Like Jason was saying, they had no business. They had no business. They had no I mean,
Well,
you could pay the monthly fee, and they had no, they had no people to give you the riders.
yeah, you got to have the business. I guess my point is are there some other apps out there that these guys can make? Well, I'm just saying, like, use your brain. Like, why? I don't know. I just don't understand creating a rideshare company. Like, it seems like the biggest money suck known to the planet.
Tom, how long do we have before a break? Because I want to know if I can bring this up.
2 minutes.
I'll wait.
Right,
Because I don't want the radio listeners to miss this.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna ask the same question and talk about something we talked about last night that I don't know. I guess it didn't surprise me. It just opened my eyes. They were definitely. Oh, hi, this is from Lisa. They were definitely a scam. I downloaded their app. Yeah. It's hopefully you never paid a fee or put your credit card in. I know a lot of people that got hammered by a trip. How much money you think was, Aaron? Are you asking me how much money Trip had in like series funding to become the company? I'm not sure. I don't even know if they made a Series A or B funding round. They were just kind of a capital venture startup that was trying to get to one. But yeah, I'll look for sure. Emily, I don't know if you saw, but I saw Dark Road Run. Joe's been my friend for a long time. I'm so glad all you guys got to know him during Tremaine's 30 days. But I saw him at Tremaine's studio the other day, live streaming. It's pretty cool. It looked like and I'd seen his new studio before, but Tremaine's, but I didn't know that it looks like the Studio A, the big one, is like you can't use it at all unless you sign it out and probably pay some. It looked like a co-op kind of for movie makers where there was different rooms you could use, but Studio A in the middle, the real deal, you had to like rent out. It was kind of weird. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah. I'm so glad that Joe and him hooked up. Joe's going to be something huge. Tremaine's already made a couple big movies, or rideshare for sure. And Joe does rideshare, but Joe is just the master of photography and OBS and stuff. It's crazy. Yeah, I did. Yeah, rideshare Lisa and I got part of getting through the pandemic was Joe's streams at night when he was still Dark Road Run. We'd go and watch those all night streams when he'd get off doing Ubering and he'd like be all the CEOs on OBS and have them all on their Travis dancing and Dara, and then he'd play guitar. It's weird stuff. It was awesome.
All right. Going back in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back in TNC Radio.live Friday night. Oh, I'm so glad it's Friday night, guys. I'm just really happy it's Friday night. Not just because it's Friday, because I get to hang out with you guys.
What you drinking tonight, Tom?
Let's see. We've got some Jack Daniels honey whiskey. There you go. Ooh. Earlier, yeah. Put some of that down. So
nice.
Yeah,
I've never seen the invisible kind.
What?
He pulled up an empty glass.
Oh, well, just a little bit. He drank it. Well, he'd been sipping on it for the radio listeners. He's got a little bit left.
Okay, so this was a weird question I asked last night. I want to know, and by the way, I also want to know from everybody in this chat, because I don't think any of you were there for this last night. But
oh boy,
so Launder, Jason, you're familiar with him? My
Yes.
fifth podcast, I interviewed him. This was forever ago.
Yeah,
and they were just up in Boise, Idaho. They were going to branch out West Coast. I don't know how far they've come. And then came 2 more. One of them is Hamper. HAMPR.
Yeah, I already went and signed up from your link.
Okay, so Hamper is getting big pretty quick, but we came to a really odd because I had done the Rise of Women in the Gig Economy roundtable this week. I just kind of had a little bit of this. Somehow this came up when I was talking about Hamper last night, and it was like one of my friends, Holly, was in the stream, and she said, I would never let a guy do my laundry.
Yeah,
and I'm like, wait a minute. I know, but wait a minute. So, okay, there's this app, Hamper. Most of the people were saying, I would never even use that. I don't want anybody touching my laundry, blah, 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 blah. I get all that. Fine. So we created a laundry pandemic. We said it made the other pandemic look like child's play. Okay, so you had to use Hamper. If you didn't use Hamper, you were done. And then we put Kim and I next to each other. It's like, would you let me come do your laundry? Or would you cancel me and take Kim? Or keep canceling till you got a girl to do it? And we got some really fun answers, dude.
I mean, on the surface, asking that question as a male, I probably would pick a female to do my laundry. You generally feel like women have the softer touch, whatever that means in the scope of laundry doing. I don't know. I look at the laundry as production based. So that's how my mind is. So I'm like, yep, wash this, fold this, pack it. Like that I thrive on that kind of work. But it shouldn't be that way. But it's almost the same thing when it comes to shipped. I'm sure you've heard me mention that before, where I had this big beard and I kept applying for shipped, and they denied a lot of guys on that app early on. I'm not sure they do anymore. But once that I worked for UPS that fall, I had a shaved beard. I reapplied and I got let on. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's just a natural stereotype I think we have. Women, I feel, if you needed a cord of wood chopped and split, would you take my face, or would you take Lisa's face?
Well, here's my point though. We had everything. That's right. Tommy was there, the Unstoppables. So John Dash is part of our Thursday night roundtable now. He's not just a guest sometimes. Dash Theory TV.
Okay.
Dash Theory TV, Hannibal, me, Kim, and Gary.
Is that Tommy?
No. Tommy's just saying, because he was in it last night, he said, don't forget about the Unstoppables.
Oh.
Because John Dash Theory TV was like, well, I use Unstoppables, then I use my laundry detergent, then I use my what do you call it, the fabric softener. And Gary's like, whoa, what's an Unstoppable?
Yeah, what is an Unstoppable?
And John was like, I don't know, my parents taught me to do it. And he's like, it makes it smell good. And so we got this whole thing like, dude, I mean,
what the
smell
hell?
Good things you got to put in this. And then Tommy and other people were like, I use Unstoppables.
Never even heard of it.
I didn't even know what it was.
So funny thing is, I signed up for another service called Sudshare or Sudster. And there actually is work here for that. And they are very strict. You have to take all these videos or whatever. But one thing I noticed, they never talk about fabric softener. They don't have you add fabric softener. Like, I went through all the videos again, and they never talked about. No, they have specific soaps that you can use for cleaning, but they never talk about fabric softener.
Maybe do they give you everything they want you to use?
No, you have to buy it all yourself.
So even if they have different brands they want to use, or
yeah, they want you to use these specific brands.
Okay.
I mean, but I guess my point is, they never talked about fabric softener. That's very weird. I use those little drops. I'm kind of a hippie, so like I hate plastic.
I've done my son and my laundry the same way forever. I put the whites together, then there's everything else.
I hate plastic as I drink out of this plastic water bottle that I'm going to recycle. But I ordered this company called Drops, and they're pods, but they come in cardboard boxes so you can recycle them. But the fabric softener comes in a pod too, and you throw the soap and the fabric softener in the bottom when you start it right away. So
Can you eat them?
No, this isn't a TikTok challenge. But yeah, no. So I just thought it was odd that they didn't talk about using fabric softener when washing the clothes. I don't know. There's people that say you don't need fabric softener, and it's kind of the laundry scam. So I don't know.
I hate to tell you guys, I have never bought any since 2006.
What?
I do my son my laundry. I have laundry detergent, man. We live guy style.
Well, I'm just saying there is a myth around.
I don't have more money to buy like 3 more things to wash the damn clothes.
Oh my gosh.
The one thing should be able to do it on its own, or else it's not strong enough.
Well, they talk about like, oh man, this is quite the show. We're talking about laundry, but they talk about like the static and all that stuff. So that apparently the fabrics, I don't know. But anyways, back to your original point. No, I want Kim or whoever was. I want Kim to do my laundry, not your ugly mug.
But here's the weirdest part: is most guys were the same way. All girls said no way, a guy's touching my stuff. And then most of the guys were like, I wouldn't want a guy doing it. I'm like,
really?
All of a sudden now, like, I can't even know. Like, there's no reason for me to work these platforms then.
Such a good point.
Like, nobody's gonna want me. They're just gonna be like, I made a joke last night. I said, well, if I start an account, I'll just use Marissa's picture.
Until
and if they ever come, if they come outside, I'll just be like, I'm just picking it up for her. I don't know how to work the machines.
I'm a male. I don't know how to work the water machine. I don't know. I don't know. That's such a good point. Now I'm disappointed. Now that you brought that up.
I mean, there was one of the people in our chat was like, Dash with Ash from Canada. She's awesome. She was like, she's like, well, I don't, because Kim had said, I wonder what they do with lost laundry. And I said, I wonder how many lost sock complaints they get. Lost a sock. Like, dude, shut up. Like
a lost iPhone in a back of an Uber.
Like, dude, you should just donate all the lost socks to the homeless, man. That'd be a big deal. Like,
Aaron makes a good point. You drop your clothes off at dry cleaners, you have no clue who's doing it. At least with this, you have a connection with somebody. And you can, like on SudShare. No, it's not SudShare. Why do I keep saying SudShare? I have an order right here. I didn't take it, obviously. It's Sudster. You get connected with that person and they can favorite you. So if you do a good job, then you get offered that first, and then you build this rapport with this person, and then they start tipping, yada yada.
Yeah. Hamper's the big one. Hamper's like in a bunch of cities now.
Yeah, I signed up for it. I mean, I don't.
But don't worry, you're never going to get one because you're a guy.
Well, and I guess for a picture.
Dude, I was so amazed. I literally, like, maybe one person was like, Steve, I'd let you do my laundry. I was like, damn it, dude.
I've always had the attitude, I'm going to do a gig if it's available in my area. I'm going to try it. I'm going to see if I can make it work, because who knows? What if it does work?
Right.
And yeah, exactly. And I'm not driving rideshare spending $4.50 a gallon for gas. I'm at home, I'm sure that won't be all my income. Of course not. But if I do a great job and they tip me $20-$30 on top of that, or they stiff me, whatever,
Ash, here was one of the things Ash pointed out, though, that I thought was really a random comment. But she was like, I would be pissed if I let a guy. She wouldn't let a guy do it either. She's like, I'd be pissed if I let a guy do it and I didn't get back some of my sexies. And I was like, a girl could take your sexies too. What the hell's going on here?
Well,
why can't we? Why can't we just get along?
I would be like, if I was a girl, I wouldn't send my sexies. I would be like, I can wash those by myself. Like, I'm going to send my jeans, my t-shirt, my sweatshirt, my leggings, whatever. But yeah, I mean, God, what if you were doing the laundry though, and you pulled out some guy's skivvies and they were just
don't go there. Oh no.
Wait, Emily put up weird. You can't steal the clothes. Like,
that's lame. I
don't get what you're saying though. You could steal the clothes.
No, I think she's being sarcastic.
Oh.
She
My point
says,
is just like the sock thing, though. What if it got lost? I mean, you can't just go, that guy took it. I know.
But here's the weird thing. You have to be more specific when you're doing. I mean, you can't just throw the laundry in the room where all the other bullshit is. Like you just can't do that. You just got to be more detail oriented and be like, look around the dryer when you pull the shit out. Did you drop anything? Is anything in the dryer? You got to like a business. Like you can't just do it like your own laundry where my clean laundry sits in the laundry basket for 2 weeks before it gets folded and I'm digging through it. And I'm like, I tell my wife, I'm like, what are we doing here? We need to fold this, put it away. Nah, we don't.
I don't know. I always say Siri's listening to me. Some of my brain is listening to me because I feel so much better because I had literally run out of laundry. I had one of those situations. Everything was gone, all dirty. I'd been doing my son's. Our house was dirty for me. Nothing was up to par. I was like, oh, but it was all of it finally. And I was like, I don't like it getting there. That's the worst feeling. But I have like one load left in the dryer right now. Like, dude, you guys don't even know with my sons and bedding and guests and bedding. I had like 13, 14 loads. I was like, I almost moved out. And said, Max, take care of this.
I would just say burn the house down.
That's easy.
Well, anyways, thanks for shooting my laundry dreams down the toilet.
Hey, you can try, man. I would recommend using a female picture and a female name.
No, I'm gonna do it legit. Although this Sudster is strict. Like you got to package them in clear bags, and it seems a little strict for me. I mean I'll follow the rules, but when it gets so detail oriented, if I'm not getting a $50 cash tip on the end, I'm like, I almost dropped the F.
That sounded exactly like I'll follow the rules unless I don't.
Well, yeah, I'll follow the rules up to a certain point.
Right. So guys, back I mentioned earlier I have an ex, and so there was a pretty significant period between wives there, and at one point, I did hire the local washateria to do my laundry every week. And after about 3 or 4 weeks, I went in there to pick up my stuff. And the girl who did my laundry greeted me and said, "Hi, Dr. Tom, how are you?" And I thought that was kind of weird, but I didn't think anything of it. And then when I dropped off the laundry the next week, "Dr. Tom is in. Hey, Dr. Tom." And finally, I guess when I picked it up that time, she called me Dr. Tom. I was like, "Why do you keep calling me Dr. Tom?" He said, "Well, you've got several hospital scrubs in there." And I had surgery and was in the hospital for a week or two. And, they give you these scrubs and they don't want them back. And I work from the house. So sitting around in scrubs on a, afternoon is very comfortable. Yep. So scrubs a lot. And so, but she thought, and she ended up saying something when I asked her, "Why do you call me Dr. Tom?" She answered like this: "Well, when you do somebody's laundry, you get to know them pretty well." And she said, "And we figured out that you must be a doctor because of your scrubs." And I was like, "No, that's it. No, got it wrong. Sorry."
I mean, at least they didn't talk about your skid marks.
Exactly, they didn't. Oh my gosh, I knew we were going to end up there. Let's hit a break. Be right back on the radio side. You're listening to TNCRadio.live. We'll come back, close up this particular episode. Skid marks and all. TNCRadio.live. Stay tuned. I knew you were going to go there.
If I owned one of those companies, I'd be like, I'd make stickers and like, "We clean skid marks." Like I would be passing out those stickers downtown.
Really? Because Aaron put in there, "What if I have some reusable diapers you can wash in your machine?"
Oh, F you. That is still a business. My mom used it when we were kids, and it's not as popular as it used to be, but it's
yeah, but look at the baby formula situation. The supply chain could turn into diapers, and look how many people wouldn't even know what do you mean reusable?
You know what? That's a good effing point. Yeah, that was a nightmare with formula. I think it's mostly resolved. I don't see a ton about it anymore, but just use baby wipes and clean your butt. Just get a bidet. I want to get
Emily's awesome. Emily's awesome. By the way, guys, I saw that Carrie. I saw you subscribed. Awesome. You guys subscribe to Jason's channel right here. This one. And we'll be on here on Fridays.
Yeah.
So
And TNCRadio.live too. Subscribe there.
Yeah, but actually yours isn't. What is yours again?
Yeah.
Oh wait, yes, that's
channel,
that's how you search it even. Because if you search TNC Radio, for some reason you won't find it. But if you put in TNCRadio.live in YouTube search, you'll see it right away. That logo.
If you search TNC Radio on YouTube, all our shows pop up.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Yeah,
I think it's because of you put the name TNCRadio.live. You might want to make the YouTube name TNC Radio.
Okay.
And then you'll show up in search.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have my media guy.
Aaron said, "Can you drop Jason's link?" Yeah, it's right here. It's subscribe.
I don't even know. I'm like at my own channel. I don't even know how to share it. Like I'm
No. Aaron's on YouTube and he asked for your link, and I'm like, "You're watching it. Just hit subscribe."
Oh yeah, you're right. You're watching it on my channel. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Tommy. Lisa, just turn the diapers inside out and you can. Oh, I was reading the U and then I had to go up.
Oh my god. You guys are the best. I love
Also,
the
if you want to download
humor.
our podcast, it's gigeconomyshow.com for everything there too. We would love for you, Jason. We're watching from your channel. Yeah, Steve figured that out for me.
Coming back in 3, 2, 1. Jason Terry on the drums. Yes. Yeah. Welcome back in TNCRadio.live Friday night. That means Driver Nation. Guys, real quickly here, let's find out how people can listen to more of your stuff. Jason, if people wanted to listen to the Gig Economy podcast, where would they go to do that?
Just go to gigeconomyshow.com or just search that in any of your podcast players, and it will pop right up. It'll be the first one.
gigeconomyshow.com. And where do you put the dash?
Up your butt.
Okay.
Those dash sites still work. They just forward you to the right one.
I know, but I'm trying to get.
I'm just letting Tom know they still are active.
Yeah, apparently Jesper, was it the show we were all together? He's like, you can go to email us team@gigeconomyshow.com, and it didn't work, but apparently it works now. So if you wanted to email us, you could use team@gigeconomyshow.com.
And what do you do? What do you do with your podcast? Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so every other Wednesday, we do live stream on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and we are more just funny memes. We don't get down and dirty. Like Steve breaks down a lot of the really complicated stuff. He's very smart for that. I'm dumb, and so we like to watch funny videos and idiots spitting in mailboxes on Ring door cams and those kind of things. And we do talk some serious stuff too, but Jesper and I have been doing it for a long time, since 2017. And we'd love to have you. Yeah.
Fantastic. And Steve, how about for Rideshare Rodeo?
So, sometimes I change this around and whatnot. Here's what I got to say is that, Rideshare Rodeo, you can find on any pod player that there is, just like Jason's. And you can find Rideshare Rodeo on YouTube. I am in the process of changing Uber Lyft drivers after 6 years.com to be encompassed with Rideshare Rodeo. So soon you won't need to type uberlyftdrivers.com again. You will just type Rideshare Rodeo, and it will be taking you to a new website within 2 weeks that will have everything as a portal, including all the archive stories I've done and a new layout for the articles to come. Everything will be on there.
Wow.
So you're combining the podcast and the just a one page.
Yeah, I'm also going to have Uber Lyft drivers repopulate the archive of the new Rideshare Rodeo. And so Uber Lyft drivers will just, if you go to uberlyftdrivers.com, you're going to get redirected to ridesharerodeo.com. Right now, that won't mean don't go to Rideshare Rodeo. You can, but that's just a landing page for my Podbean player. That's not what it's going to be. I'll wait till I give you guys the thumbs up, but I want to make it easy. I want to make it streamlined. I think that's how I do it. So,
I like easy.
Easy is good. Easy is better than complicated. And I tell you what else is not complicated. TNCRadio.live. We're here 24/7. We cater mostly to the audience around commercial drivers. We broadcast streaming for drivers for U.S. and Canada. Sorry, somebody's waving at me. For the U.S. and Canada, and we're having a blast. We're coming up on 2.5 years, guys, and it's really exciting. A lot of growth, especially in the last 6 months. Oh my gosh! And you know what I forgot to do?
The word of the day.
I didn't do the word of the day. So let's do the words of the day real quick. Your opportunity to win $1,000. That's $1,000. You go to TNCRadio.live or go use our app. Go do this right now. Just go in there, put in your information, and put in each of these words. Each one, a separate entry, gives you a chance to win $1,000. So here's word number 1, road. Road, R-O-A-D, road. Word number 2, resort. Resort, R-E-S-O-R-T, resort. Word number 3, bounty. Bounty, like the paper towels, bounty, B-O-U-N-T-Y. And word number 4, pay. Pay, P-A-Y, pay. Road, resort, bounty, pay. Go to TNCRadio.live, either the app or the website, put in your information, put in that information, and then look for a phone call around noon Eastern time on Monday. And if you see a phone call, maybe it's a number you don't know real well or you don't know at all, go ahead and answer it anyway. And you could be somebody on the other end saying, hey, thanks for answering the phone. You just won $1,000.
Yeah.
It's really very easy.
Cool. I hope somebody wins.
Yeah. Well, we do this in cooperation with a bunch of other radio stations. And we had 2 winners the first week.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're pretty excited about it. It's been going very, very well.
Do they give you a 10% cut for just like the lotto when you sell a lotto ticket from the gas station? They give you a little cut.
I wish. No. No cut on my end. So yeah, this just it really, it's super simple. It really is, and I don't sell your data. So
allegedly.
Aaron
says word of the day: reusable laundry.
Okay.
That's 2 words, but we'll let you slide.
All
on that
laundry's reusable except for diapers.
Dirty diapers. You cannot turn those inside out. Ugh,
Yeah.
that makes me like gag in my mouth a little bit. I'm not
Yeah.
It's like painting the rest of them brown.
What?
If you didn't get that one, I'm not.
I'm kicking them from the stream, Tom. That's it.
Yeah. Just not.
Steve, what do you got coming up for your show this week? You dropped the Harry episode, which we talked about at the beginning of the show. If you're on right now, check out Steve's channel, his YouTube channel. Had a great interview with Harry, the rideshare guy, and it's good.
And if you didn't catch it, again, it's much different than other ones. I even wanted it to be, and it ended up being pretty much what I was hoping it would be. So check it out.
See, if it was my interview, I would have titled it "And Harry Swears," just because it was not a normal interview for him.
Again, I think he recognized it too. He was trying, I was trying, and we were all trying. We wanted to humanize him.
Yeah, for sure.
Harry the potty mouth guy.
Yeah. Harry the potty
well,
mouth
this
guy.
week, let's see. I do that Beyond the Algorithm with Hannibal every other week. So this week we do not have one. But this Tuesday, once a month, I do a thing with the Long Island Dash Experience. If you've never checked out their channel, check them out. Lou and Mary, they live on Long Island. They do it together. They are awesome. And whenever I do collabs with them, they're some of the best ones that I do. Lou is pretty much like, I want to be careful here, but Lou is pretty much world, or at least United States recognized poker player. He makes a lot of money on poker, and A lot of people don't like to play with them. Or do like to play with them. I don't know how all you high up poker people are, but Lou can take on, like, he's got backers, the whole spiel. But he also has a full-time W-2. His wife does full-time W-2 X-ray technician. He's an insurance claims adjuster, and they do dashing and Instacart on the weekends together, and they live out their relationship while they do it. They're up near like Jason and my age. They're great people. They're tons of fun to watch, and I love collabing with them because we never know what we're going to do going into it. But I will tell you guys, because some of you guys I know watch Lou and Mary that are in here right now. Check it out. It's going to be on their channel, not mine this time. We've done 3 on mine together, but this one's going to be on theirs, and it's going to be a Long Island Dash Experience Q&A. I'm going to moderate it, and I'm going to pick all the questions. You guys can come ask them anything you want. They get mad views on their videos. They have lots of subs for the time they've been doing this. Big channel. Lots of fun. Check it out.
Very, very cool. Yeah, well, I will check that out. All right, so we got just a few minutes left. We got time for one more story or piece of information, or what you got there for us, Steve? Give us a quick one.
Well, only because I saw this in the news and I saw that Harry did a video on it. So I thought I'd bring it up, is that Rapify is making some huge comeback, dumping in tons of money. You can, and if you go to rapify.com/driver marketplace, you'll find all the information, because we don't have enough time for me to really deep dive this. But they've found ways for additional income and different levels of income for up to 400,000 gig workers in this country, maybe more. But they can put you on different tiers. So if you live in a market where there's something specific in that area that needs to be targeted, they can pay you way more than the other ways. And cool. So they're doing a lot of creative. A lot of us got in bad headspace about Rapify. Not that they were a bad company. They never did anything wrong like that, never stole money like some of these others, weren't like a scam like Trip, but they just kind of died off. In a lot of places, it just wasn't really doing it anymore. But now they're like going full blown back into the market. And it's a lot. It can be a lot of extra. They are also working with Solo, Remitly, and GoShare directly, but they're going to be allowing all kinds of things. So just go there and check it out. It sounds like we all know that when things come out is the time to strike, because that's when you're going to get paid the most. It's just happening right now. Go check it out.
Very cool. Hey, and guys, if you've not listened to the Gig Economy podcast in the past, or you're not familiar with Ride Your Rodeo, stay tuned right here to TNCRadio.live. We do an episode of each of them. They're past episodes. So we do an episode of each of them coming up right after this program on Friday nights. And then, of course, Saturday morning, we have all sorts of good programming. Sunday evenings, we're having a lot of fun week after week right now doing doing dragons and football. We're talking all things House of the Dragon. Are you guys into House of the Dragon yet?
Here's why, because you know me. Jason's going to say no. I'm going to say I would be. I don't have my HBO thing right now. I let it go, and I canceled it. So I need to find a way to use a different email. I need to figure out how to get another free 30 days or something.
Gotcha. But House of the Dragon and NFL football, that's our conversation every Sunday evening. So join us for that. We have a great time talking all things NFL and House of the Dragon as House of the Driver, starting at 7:00 Eastern right here on TNCRadio.live. We are out of here. Catch you again next week. Same place, same channel.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all.